Hey, what is going on, guys? RvzStealth here, and in today's video, I'm going to be giving you guys a few tips to help you climb out of bronze faster. Now, before I get into the video, I want to let you know that this video is going to be sponsored by Feature Points. If you don't know what this app is already, basically it's an app where within the app you can download apps to gain points, and with these points you can redeem stuff like RP cards, PayPal cards, and Amazon cards. So it's a really good app for those of you who either don't have the money to buy RP, or let's say you're either in queue or in champion select. You can hop on this app, get some points, and then eventually you will have enough to buy some RP, or to redeem RP I should say. So if you do decide to download this app, then use the code RvzStealth to gain 50 points when you do start out. With that being said, guys, let's get into this video. So my first tip is going to be to stay away from bot lane. I would recommend playing top, mid, or jungle, and the reason being is because when you're playing bot lane, and AD carry especially, you really don't have the best roaming kit or the best roaming potential, and because of that, you're really forced to do well in the laning phase for your team to have success. If you don't do well in the laning phase and your other lanes feed too, then you're pretty useless and you're probably gonna end up losing that game. So I would recommend playing either top, mid, or jungle because you can roam from those roles. Top lane, you're gonna take teleport most of the time, so you can look to make a TP play down bot lane. Mid lane, you can roam either top or bot if you do get ahead, and then obviously in the jungle you can help all of your lanes out. So I would just highly recommend staying away from bot lane if you are looking to climb out the fastest. My next tip is to have jungle as one of your two preferred roles for ranked. Now, the reason I'm saying this is because when you're playing jungle, you just have so many ways that you can carry a game. You can either look to invade the enemy jungler, kill them, take their CS, and get ahead of them by doing that. You can help your lanes out and get your lanes ahead by ganking in the early game. And you are also the one who has smite on your team. So once you do get to mid to late game team fights and Baron becomes on the table, then you're the one on your team who could win the game or could lose the game for your team by getting a good smite off. So I just think because of all those factors, jungle is a great role to carry from, especially in bronze. Whereas if you're playing a role like support or AD carry, you just don't have that roaming potential in the early game, and you don't have that ability to win a game by getting a nice smite off or by helping your lanes out in the early game. So I would highly recommend playing jungle as one of your main roles if you're looking to climb out the fastest. My next tip is to just play the easier champions. You guys don't need to play these high skill cap champions like Azir and Lee Sin. You can still climb out of bronze with those champions, but in my opinion, if you play a champion like Annie or Volibear, you're going to be able to climb out of bronze a hell of a lot faster because these champions do not have skill shots in their kit. You could say that Annie does have a skill shot with her ultimate and her W, but those are very easy skill shots to land, and therefore once you do get to mid to late game team fights where hitting your abilities matter a lot, you're really not going to mess up on these champions and you're going to be able to hit those abilities most of the time. So just don't play these harder champions unless you do want to take a lot longer to climb out of bronze. Just play the easier champions and you will get out a lot faster. My next tip is one that maybe you guys might not agree with a whole lot, or you might think is cheesy, but in my opinion, it's one of the best tips that I can give you, and that is to try to get your enemies to tilt. Now, if you don't know what tilting is, it's basically when the enemies get mad or angry at something that you've done. So this is a lot easier to do, in my opinion, in bronze than in other elos, because whenever I watch my brother play, or if I remember back to when I was bronze, players just get mad at each other so easy at the dumbest things. For example, if you are playing jungle and you keep ganking a lane over and over again, even if you don't end up killing the enemy laner, he's gonna start getting mad at his jungler because he's been ganked 4 times already and he hasn't received a single gank. So he might start flaming his jungler, telling him, why aren't you ganking? So if you are playing jungle, especially if you do burn the enemy's flash, just look to gank them over and over again, because at the very least, you're going to cause them to get a little bit angry because his jungler isn't ganking, and at the best, you're going to end up killing him over and over again. And also, when you are playing a lane like top, mid, or bot, if you do end up getting a kill in the laning phase, it's never a bad thing to just say lol or haha in the chat, because I know that when I'm playing and when the enemy kills me, if they say anything in chat, it's going to tilt me a little bit. I think the one that gets me the most is when they just use a question mark in chat, because I feel like, I just don't know why, but that just tilts me a lot and it just gets me off my game. So don't go saying things like you're bad or you suck in chat. I really don't think that you should be doing that, but using lol or haha is definitely a good way to get your enemies to tilt as well. And last but not least, guys, my final tip is to play champions that round out the team comp instead of playing champions that you feel like playing. I see this too much when I'm watching my brother play. He just picks champions because he feels like playing them instead of picking champions that are good for the team comp. Now, if you are first or second pick on your team, then obviously pick what you want to play or what you are strong at. But if you are third or fourth or fifth pick, then definitely look to pick a champion that is going to suit the team well. For example, if your last pick and your team is all full of squishies, then don't go picking Master Yi to round out your team comp. Pick a tankier champion, pick a champion that's going to suit your team comp well, because once you do get to mid to late game team fights, it's really who has the better team comp who's going to end up winning that game. So if you're a team full of squishies versus an enemy team that's got a whole lot of CC and a whole lot of lockdown, you're probably going to end up losing that game. So just pick your champions wisely and don't go picking champions just because you feel like playing them. So that is going to be all for this video, guys. If you did enjoy, then be sure to leave a like, subscribe if you have not already. So thanks for watching, guys. Have an awesome day, and I will see you in my next video.